सहनः भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। नमस्कार। सर्वत्र समदर्शनः। In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna describes a yogi or a wise person as Sarvatra Samadarśanaḥ. Samadarśanaḥ, who sees Sama, the same, one, non-dual, Sarvatra, everywhere. In the last class we were talking about how there is a lumping together of the subject and the object. When I say Purushoham, I am a human being, that I am belongs to the subject, the human being belongs to the object. The human being, as we know, is the nature of the body, is the attribute of the body. I am is a self. So thus, in all our experiences, if you want to say, there is a lumping together of the subject and the object, the self and the non-self, drashta and drishya, seer and seen. And that's the reason why we are not able to see the same everywhere, because I perceive other things in relation to the way I perceive myself. Thus, when the subject and object are lumped together, when I say I am a human being, I'm happy, I'm unhappy, I'm a doer, I'm an experiencer, then my perception of myself, as you said earlier, is that of a limited being confined to this body-mind-sense complex. And therefore, I am also going to judge everyone else by their body-mind-sense complex, or by the name and form, by the costume. Therefore, to see samatvam, to see the sameness, to see one, is first necessary that my own perception of myself changes. Meaning that I should separate this drashta from drishya. In Vedanta there is a text called Druk Drishya Vivekaha. Vivekaha, the separation. Druk Drishya. Druk means the drashta, the subject. Drishya means the seen, the known, the object. Druk drishya viveka. Separating the druk from drishya. Separating the subject from the object. So this text proceeds in a very systematic manner, helping us stage by stage as to how we can separate the self from the non-self. It begins by saying, Rupam drishyam lochanam druk tad drishyam druktamanasam drishya dhivruttah sakshi drugeva natu drishyate. Rupam drishyam lochanam druk. Rupam, the colors and form that we see around ourselves. Drishyam, they are drishya, they are objects of perception. The colors and forms are perceived, we know that. Who perceives them? Lochanam druk. The perceiver is the eye, lochanam. Lochanam means the eyes. The lochanam is the singular, so eye, but otherwise in a pair of eyes. The colors and forms are objects, drishya, seen, and the eyes are the seer. Here, in the seer and seen, the general rule is that the drishyam, the seen, is many and varied and changing. Whereas the seer is one, non-changing. In this instance, the simple separation of the subject from the object, the seer from the seen, the perceiver from the perceived. This text says that all the colors and forms are perceived and the eyes are the perceiver. You know that colors are many, colors and forms are many and changing and varied. So whereas the colors keep on changing, eyes, which are the perceiver, do not change. Where the colors are many, eyes, which are perceiver, is one. So this is a general rule. The drishya, the perceived, is many, varied, changing. The perceiver is one, non-changing. So this is a simple thing. We begin with a very simple, understandable experience. I know that I am a perceiver. I know that the objects are perceived. And this rule that applies to the colors and forms which are perceived and eyes with a perceiver also applies to other organs of perception. We have 5 organs of perception. The world consists of 5 kinds of objects. Shabda, sparsha, rupa, rasa, gandha. The sound, the touch, the color, the taste, the smell. And for perceiving these 5 kinds of objects of the world, we have the 5 organs of perception. For perceiving sounds, we have the organ of hearing. For perceiving touch, we have the organ of touch. For perceiving colors, we have eyes. For perceiving, experiencing taste, we have the tongue or the palate. for perceiving, experiencing smell with the organ of smell. So this rule that was told for the eyes, Rupam Drishyam, Lochanam Druk, the Rupam, the colors, the forms of Drishyam, perceived, Lochanam Druk, the eyes are perceiver. Same also can be applied to the sounds. The Shabda is what is perceived, and the organ of hearing is the perceiver. There also the sounds are many and varied and changing, and the organ of hearing, which is perceiver, is one, unchanging. Similarly, organ of touch, the touch, which is object, is perceived, many, varied. The organ of touch that perceives is one, unchanging. So the tastes are many and varied and changing. The organ which perceives the taste is one, unchanging. The smells are many and changing and varied. The organ that perceives the smell is one, unchanging. So first level of this separation of the perceiver from the perceived, the seer from the seen, the knower from the known. And another little thing that I should point out is that the perceiver is the one that illumines the perceived. The eyes illumine the colors, the ears illumine the sounds. This illumination is by the light of consciousness. The light of consciousness emanating through the organ of hearing illumines the various sounds, and that's how the sounds are perceived. So what is perceived is illumined, and the one who perceives illumines. So perceived, perceiver, illumined, illuminator. That's the relationship that also obtains between the object and the subject. Now the text proceeds further. Tad drishyam druktumanasam. It is true that the eyes are perceiver with reference to colors and forms, but tad drishyam, the eyes are also perceived, they are also drishya. Druktumanasam, there is mind that perceives the eyes. Again we say, what is perceived is changing. The perceiver is unchanging. So Swami, how do you say the eyes are perceived? We don't see eyes. But perceiving we mean not necessarily seeing. Perceiving means knowing. That eyes are known, and there is something that is a knower. The mind is a knower of the eyes also. Eyes are also changing. The text says, Andimande patatvam cha. The eyes undergo various states. Like andyam, sometimes eyes are blind, cannot see anything at all. Mandyam, sometimes eyes are dull, meaning they can see the general light but not perceive the peculiarities. Patutvam, eyes are sharp, see things in general and in particular. And we are aware of these different states of the eyes. But I cannot see as well Swamiji as I used to do. So that shows that eyes are also perceived, they also change, they are also many, varied, and the perceiver is the mind. And same thing goes also with other sense organs. The ears, the organ of hearing also go through those states. Andya means I cannot hear anything at all. Manyam, I can hear something in general, but not particularly. I cannot pick up every particular sound or frequency. And patutvam, ears are very sharp. They can perceive various frequencies and wavelengths. Who is the perceiver? The mind is the perceiver. And that goes with, like, for example, the organ of touch. Sometimes we lose the sense of touch. Sometimes I can touch, but I cannot feel very, I can feel in general, but not a particular kind of, I cannot make out what exactly that touch is. And the organ of touch is sharp, I can make out every kind of touch. And so also every kind of taste. Sometimes our tongue loses the sense of taste. I can't taste anything. Sometimes I can taste all that, but not, I can't tell, Swamiji, which particular dish this is. Or my sense of taste may be very sharp. So thus, we know that the sense organs also undergo various changes. But the mind that perceives these changes is one unchanging. Tadrishyam druktumanasam. The organ of perception also is drishya. The organ of perception is perceiver with reference to the objects of perception. But the organ of perception in turn is perceived with reference to the mind. So now we are slowly making a journey, an inward journey. We come to mind as a subject, as a perceiver. The mind also is perceived. What is mind? Mind has got various thoughts. And thoughts also change. Kamaha sankalpa sandeho. Upanishad says, what is mind? Kamaha, sankalpa, vichikitsa, shraddha, ashraddha, dhrutihi, adhrutihi, dhihi, bhihi. All the various thoughts are described. This is called mind. So mind means various thoughts. And these thoughts also are perceived. Kama, a desire arises in the mind, I am aware. Sankalpa, a resolve arises in the mind, I am aware. Vichikitsa, a doubt arises, I am aware. Shraddha, faith arises, I am aware. Ashraddha, lack of faith, I am aware. Fear, I am aware. Fortitude, I am aware, etc., etc. Countless thoughts are there. Some of these are lists, stated here. But the point is, the mind which is perceived with reference to sense organs itself consists of so many thoughts, and the thoughts are also known. They are also illumined. They are perceived, they are illumined. So from the standpoint that the thoughts also are perceived, they are also known, they are also illumined, the thoughts also become perceived, they also become object. And the one that knows the thoughts, perceives the thoughts, illumines the thoughts, drishya dhivruttaya. Dhivruttaya. The various vrittis, or various thoughts of the mind are also drishya. They are also perceived. Sakshi drugeva. Will be the witness of all these thoughts also? Who is drug? He is the perceiver, the subject. So thus when we trace this sequence of the perceived and the perceiver, from the external objects we come to the sense organs. From sense organs, the perception, we come to the mind. And from the mind we come to that very perceiver of the mind. Even the thoughts also are illumined because we are aware of the thoughts. That can be only when the thoughts are illumined by the awareness. the source of our objects perceived. Sakshi, the witness, is the perceiver, the subject. So the question arises that can we stretch this sequence further or not? If every perceiver also turns out to be perceived, the eyes which are perceiver with reference to colors and forms are perceived with reference to mind, and the mind which is perceiver with reference to the organs of perception is also perceived with reference to the witness. Meaning that the colors and forms are illuminated by the eyes, the eyes or organs of perception illuminated by the mind of various thoughts are illuminated by the Sakshi, the witness. So who illumines the witness? Drugeva natu dushyate. This is where the sequence of the perceiver and perceived comes to an end. Meaning that this witness is Drugeva, he is only perceiver. Natu dushyate, he is not perceived. So ultimately we come to the perceiver who perceives, who illumines but is not perceived, who is not illumined. Who is that? No deti nastametyesha na vruddhim yati nakshayam swam vibhati atha anyani bhasayet sadhanam vina. We come to this final subject. It's called Chitti. You can call it consciousness, awareness, Chitti. You can call it Chit. Different words are used. Sometimes Chit, sometimes Jnanam, Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Jnanam. Sometimes Atma, sometimes Bodha, sometimes Chaitanyam. Various words are used. So this Chitti, what's the nature of the consciousness? What's the nature of the self? No deti nastametyesha. Esha Chitti na udeti na astameti. It does not rise, it does not set. This Udaya Asta. The rising and setting usually are the expressions used for the sun. The sun rises, the sun sets. So thus we know that what rises also sets. And that applies to everything that is in the universe, everything that we know. The objects rise, the world rises, the world sets. When you wake up, the whole world rises. When you go to sleep, the whole world sets. So that applies to the objects, Shabda, Sparsha, all the objects also, they also rise when we wake up in the morning, they all set when we go to sleep. How about the organs of perception, which are also perceivers? They also rise same way. When you go to sleep, the organs of perception also, they all set. Meaning they also go to sleep. When you wake up in the morning, or whenever you wake up, they also wake up. So rising and setting applies to objects of the world, applies to the sense organs of perception, applies to the mind also. Right now we are awake, the mind also is awake. And when you go to sleep, the mind also sleeps. So mind also rises. When we wake up, mind also sets. when you go to sleep. So this is the general nature of what we call the drishya or perceived. That is many, it is varied, it is changing, it rises and it sets, it becomes manifest, becomes unmanifest. The sun becomes manifest, unmanifest. The mind becomes manifest, unmanifest. See, only drishya, the objects are like that. Then when you come to the sakshi, the witness, the chitti, the consciousness, how about that? Does it also rise and set? No deti nastametyesha. Esha chitti no deti. It does not rise. Nastameti, it does not set. But how do you say that, Swamiji? That consciousness does not rise, consciousness does not set? What applies to other faculty like sense organs, mind, even consciousness also seems to set in the deep sleep state, is it not so? There is no consciousness in deep sleep state. There is no awareness in deep sleep state. There is no chitti in the deep sleep state. Because if there was consciousness or awareness in the deep sleep state, then would I not be aware of the deep sleep? We are told that in deep sleep there is total peace. Because we become free from all the conflicts, all the worries, all the anxieties. The deep sleep state is characterized by these two things. That in the deep sleep state, we do not know anything. When a person wakes up having slept well, he says, I slept well, I did not know anything. I didn't know what happened, did not know anything. So about deep sleep state, we do say, I slept well. I did not know anything. This shows an experience in deep sleep state. Whoever was sleeping was experiencing happiness, was experiencing also the absence of everything, the ignorance. So in deep sleep state also, there is this experience, you can call it, an unmanifest experience. There the mind, the ego, everything becomes unmanifest. And therefore there is total peace and deep sleep state, because this ego and all, this is what creates all kinds of conflicts and disturbances. It's not there. There is no mind, there are no worries, no anxieties. Then also the consciousness continues to shine. Had it not been the case, if there is no consciousness in deep sleep state, then you would not be able to wake up at all, because the self was not there. The fact that we wake up from the sleep shows that I existed in the sleep also. When we wake up in the morning, we know. Pragasvasam ahamiti pratyabhijñāyate. Prabodhasamaya yah pratyabhijñāyate. Hey, I who went to sleep is the one who has woken up. There is a continuity. Thus in deep sleep state also, the consciousness shines. To explain this, in a text called Panchadashi, the author Vidyaranya Swami gives a very beautiful example of Nataka Deepa, of a lamp in the theatre in the olden days. Imagine a theatre with a stage and with all the spectators and with a sponsor who sponsored the whole show, and from behind the stage first come out all the accompaniments and musicians, and finally comes out the dancer. All of this is illuminated by a a very bright lamp which is shining in the center of the theater. And the dancer starts dancing. She has different gestures and movements at the same time, various expressions on her face and eyes. All of these are illumined by the lamp. The audience is illumined by the lamp. The sponsor is illumined by the lamp. The musicians are illumined by the lamp. All of this is illumined by one lamp. And when the show is over, first the dancer withdraws and goes behind the stage. Then the musicians also slowly leave, go behind the stage. Then the sponsor also leaves. Then the audience also leaves. And now the whole theater is empty. There is nobody there. How do you know there is nobody there? Because the lamp in the theater illumines also the absence of everything. That lamp which illumines the presence of everything also illumines the absence of everything. Similarly, the lamp of consciousness that illumines everything, the presence of everything in the waking state, the dream state, illumines also the absence of everything. Understand that in the theater, we know the presence also in the light of the lamp, and we know the absence also in the light of the lamp. Very important. Similarly also, the waking and the dream states, we know the presence of everything in the light of consciousness. The deep sleep state, we know the absence of everything. The same consciousness illumines the absence of everything, always shining, just as the lamp in the theater shines, constantly shines, unchangingly shines. Whereas it illumines all the changes in the theater, in the dancer, all movements and expressions are all illumined. It remains itself changeless. The one that illumines all the modifications and changes itself is changeless, unmodified. The one that illumines many himself itself is one. What is illumined is many, what is illumined is changing, what is illumined is varied, just as in the theater. The illuminator is one, unchanging, illumining, shining. So this is an example given there to explain our experiences of the waking and the deep sleep state, as to how in the waking all the various changes, our mind is like a dancer which keeps on dancing with various movements and expressions. Our organs of perception, etc., are like those musicians. All the objects of the world are like the audience. The ego is the sponsor of the whole show. In the waking state, drama is going on. The mind is performing all kinds of drama, all movements, gestures, expressions, feelings. They are all illumined by what? The lamp of consciousness, chitti. The deep sleep state, all of them withdraw. Sense organs withdraw. The mind withdraws. The ego also withdraws. First, the audience also withdraws. The deep sleep state, everything is empty. And still, when we wake up, we say, I don't know, I didn't know anything. What happened? Meaning that I knew the absence of everything. The absence of everything also is illumined by the same consciousness. No dedi nastamyetyesha. But everything else that is illumined is subject to udaya and asta, rising and setting, manifestation, manifest and manifested. The chiti, the consciousness that illumines all of that. The objects of the world, the organs of perception, the mind, everything. The ego is one, unchanging, ever shining. Where the consciousness illumines all various modifications of the mind, various thoughts of the mind, various moods of the mind, various states of the mind, waking, dream, deep sleep, various states of the mind, happy, unhappy, doer, experiencer, various states of the body, the childhood, the youth, old age. All of these are illumined. What is illumined is many, varied, changing. One state excludes the other state. The waking excludes the dream, meaning that dream cannot be when the waking is. Dream excludes the waking. When the dream is, the waking is not. The deep sleep excludes the other two. Each state excludes the other two. But the one that illumines all of them is unexcluded. Balyadishva jagradadishu tata sarvasvasthasvapi vyavrittasu anuvartamanam ahamiti antaspurantam sada. Says Dakshinamurti Stotra that Balyadishu, all the states like the childhood, the youth, the old age, jagradadishu, like the states that is waking, dream, deep sleep, and again, like the doer happiness and happy, all of these vyavrittas, they are changing, mutually exclusive. Anuvartamanam, that there is a thread that illumines all of them, that connects all of them. Because otherwise we cannot have memory. If the same entity did not exist, I cannot have memory of yesterday, the one that was sitting here yesterday and giving a talk is the same I who is sitting today and giving the talk. You have the recollection of the self, recognition of the self. Not only am I aware of myself, but I recognize that I who was yesterday, the same I that is today. The I that was sleeping is the same I that is awake. The I that was father is the same I that is the son. The I that was happy is the same I that is unhappy. Vyavrittasu, all the states keep on changing. Anuvartamanam, that in fact pervades all of them, sustains all of them without any change. Like a thread that sustains all the various beads in a garland. Ahamiti antasfurantam sada. Sada sfurantam, that ever shines, aham, aham, aham is I. No deti nastametyesha chitihi, esha chitihi. This chiti does not set, does not rise, does not change, ever shines changelessly in its own glory. Na vruddhim yati nakshayam. We may say that it remains ever all right, but maybe the consciousness also undergoes change in terms of vruddhi and kshaya, that it grows and it decays, does it not? Na vruddhim yati nakshayam. The self, the consciousness, the chiti does not grow because all vruddhi, the growth also is perceived by me. Kshayam, the decay also is perceived by me. And I know that the body undergoes the states of growth and decay. So also the various objects in the world undergo the stage of objects of growth and decay. And the mind also goes through various moods, the sense organs go through growth and decay. Everything is subject to growth and decay. But the fellow ajo nitya shashvatoyam purana. The self is unborn, undying, changeless, free from growth and decay. Na vruddhim yati na kshayam, changeless. Further the verse says, Swam vibhati, it shines on its own, bhasayati anyani, and it illumines all of them, sadhanam vina, without any sadhanam, without any aid. Swam vibhati atha anyani bhasayat sadhanam vina. It shines on its own, and without any aid, it illumines everything. What is meant is like a lamp that shines on its own and illumines things around. The lamp does not require anything other than itself to shine as well as illumine. Lamp is a good example of that which shines as well as illumines. Meaning that which shines, meaning that it does not need to be illuminated by another lamp. At the same time, it illumines everything that is around. The sun also is a good example. Shines, self-shining, we call it self-illuminating. Swami vibhati anyani asanyani bhasayet sadhanam vina. It shines by itself and illumines everything else without any effort, meaning that to illumine is nature. When we say that the lamp illumines without any aid, the lamp illumines without any effort, which means to illumine the nature of lamp. To shine is the nature of lamp. For shining also, the lamp does not require any effort. For illumining also does not require any effort. So that which shines on its own, at the same time illumines everything, is called self-shining. Self is swaprakasham, swam prakash. Self-shining, self-illuminating. So this chiti, drusyaha dhirvruttaya sakshi. All the thoughts are drusyaha, they are all illumined, and the sakshi, the witness, the one who illumines. Drugeva nato drusyate. But the self that illumines is only illuminator, nato drusyate. He is never illumined. He is a perceiver, never perceived. It's a very beautiful thing to know. So what's the nature of subject? So here, this whole exercise is going on to separate the subject from the object. Because we discussed how the lumping together of the subject and object creates a problem. The lumping together doesn't change anything. Lumping together subject and object doesn't change the subject, doesn't make it small. Unfortunately, make it appear small. The subject means I am a human being, I am happy, I am unhappy. Yet I am and happy, both of them are placed the same location. We discussed this. That I am belongs to the subject, the happy belongs to the object. But by lumping together, the I am becomes as small as happy. I am becomes as small as unhappy. Where happiness, unhappiness, states of mind, the I am becomes as small as mind. I am tall, I am short, these are the attributes of the body. When I say I am tall, the I am becomes as small as the body. Understand? And that's why we suffer from complex, that I am insignificant. Because however great the body is, however strong it is, however great and brilliant the mind is, or intellect is, how strong and powerful the ego is, ultimately they are insignificant in terms of the totality. And therefore, by lumping them together, I can never become free from the sense of insignificance. That's what makes me unhappy. That's what makes me miserable. And as we discussed earlier, we are struggling hard to become free from that misery, from insignificance, by trying to become significant, by asserting ourselves in one way or the other. By becoming big, by becoming strong, by becoming powerful, by becoming wealthy, by becoming famous, etc., etc. Asserting myself, I am something. There are moments when I feel I am something, when that insignificance is forgotten, it comes back, takes hold of me. So we discussed earlier how our method of solving the problem of smallness, insignificance, insufficiency, inadequacy, lack, want, by fulfilling desires which require action and results of the action which create other desires, is an unending chain, which is an unending chain of birth and death also, and birth and sorrow. The simple solution is to separate the two. You need to separate. They are separate. The object is never where the subject is. We can say the subject, the Atma, transcends everything. Yoshanaya pipase shokam moham jaram mrityum atyeti. About the self, the Bhudanayika Upanishad says, atyeti, that transcends. Ashanaya pipase, hunger and thirst. Shokam moham, grief and delusion. Jara mrityam, old age and death. Transcends. Old age and death are the attributes of body. Hunger and thirst, attributes of the prana, the vital air. Grief and delusion, attributes of the mind. Meaning it transcends the body, mind, sense organ, transcends. They don't touch. Tamasah parastat, beyond the darkness, but the darkness does not touch that. Which is a solution, which is a problem also. The chitti, the consciousness, the subject, this witness, is untouched by anything, and they're unopposed to anything also. There is a light that is opposed to darkness. That the light of the lamp is opposed to darkness. Therefore, when the light of lamp is, darkness cannot be. The light of sun opposes darkness. So when the sun shines, the darkness cannot be. But Atma is the light of consciousness. There is not opposed to darkness of ignorance. Meaning that ignorance can very well be there even when Atma, the self, the consciousness is shining. Meaning the consciousness, the chitti, is unopposed to anything. And that is why it witnesses everything. It is a very antaryami, the indwelling self, that witnesses everything. All the thoughts and all the states of the sense organs, everything is witnessed. But does not oppose anything. Upadrashta anumanta cha bharata bhokta maheshwar. The Bhagavad Gita says upadrashta. The chitti, the consciousness, the Atma, the self is upadrashta. The drashta, the seer, the witness, in most proximate witness, witnessing everything. Witnessing the ego, witnessing the mind, witnessing all anxiety, happiness, and everything is witnessed. When the ego performs good action, that is also witnessed. When ego violates and performs evil action, that is also witnessed. No, upadrashta, anumanta cha. seems to permit everything. So in fact, that's a solution. This untouched by everything is asamsari, the samsara. This sense of limitedness, suffering doesn't touch. Meaning that even when I feel that I am a samsari, I remain a samsari. Samsara does not touch. So he said that it is self-shining and illumining everything, but unopposed to everything, because it is untouched by anything. Asangohayam purushaha. Again the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad says, the waking state, that purusha, this person, the self, the consciousness, ratva charitva. Here it moves about, experiences various things. The pleasure and pain are all experienced in the waking state. And then it simply leaves the waking state without being touched by all the experiences here. Asangoe, he leaves it, the whole waking state. When we are awake, we are so possessive. This is my house, this is my this, that and so forth, and we fight for that. But when we go to dream, the whole waking state is left where it is. Anandvagatah. Anandvagatah. With pleasure and pain and possessions, unconnected with all of them. He leaves everything here and goes to dream. Look at this. Asangoyam purusha. This purusha, the self, the chiti, the conscious, asangaha. Unconnected, unrelated, untouched, unaffected. Again, the dream state also, ratva, charitva. There also same similar kind of experiences happen. Experience in happiness, result of punya, virtue. Experience in unhappiness, result of papa, vice. Anandvagata. But again, unconnected all of them and just leave the dream state, leaving everything there. Very important. Just observing our life, day-to-day experiences, that's what Upanishad does. Then the dreamer has no connection to the waker. And then the dreamer also having gone, when the karmas giving rise to the dream state, when they are over, he leaves that also without any anandvagataha. He's untouched by all of this. Goes to deep sleep state. Gains experiences there of peace, quietude, happiness and ignorance. Leaves that and comes to waking state. This, if we observe our daily life, the sequence of experience that we are going through is very clear. Asangohayam purusha. This purusha, the person, the consciousness, the self, the chiti is asanga, unconnected. Another example that Brihadaranyaka Upanishad is a powerful fish swims in the river from one bank to the other. Mahamatsya, a very strong, powerful fish, like a shark maybe, is unaffected by the stream of water. It goes from one bank to the other, from waking to the sleep, like Atma goes, unaffected. So this chiti does not suffer from rising, setting, manifestation, always manifest, always shining in its own glory. Swam vibhati, it shines on its own. At anyani bhasayet sadhanam vina, and it illumines everything effortlessly, because that is its nature. So that's why it's called Sakshi also. Another word of Sakshi. Sakshi is translated as witness, it is true. That in our day-to-day life, we use the word Sakshi, means witness. The court witness, the eyewitness, the one who has witnessed everything with his or her own eyes. Atma is also called Sakshi. But Swamiji, the witness, performs the act of witnessing. Similarly also when you say Atma is witness, the Chiti is witness, does it perform the act of witnessing? Says no. Sakshat ikshate. Sakshat, immediately. Anya anapekshata, without apeksha, expectation of anything. Without any vyavadhana, without any vyavadhana or any interception. Ikshate prakashayati. So, this word Sakshi is explained with reference to Chiti. Yes, Sakshat ikshate prakashayati. Ananyapekshaya avyavadhanena. Without vyavadhana. Without anything in between. You see, the mind also eliminates, but there is vyavadhanam. There is also an intermediate factor called the sense organs. So this witness also illumines the mind like that. Avyavadhanena. Sakshat ikshate. It illumines immediately, directly, without effort, because to illuminate this nature. So when we use the word Sakshi in case of the Atma, the self, the Chiti consciousness, then it is not an act of witnessing. Witness is a word that is used because we have to use a word. Any word that is used to denote self is a word that is taken from a day-to-day language. And each word has a connotation, it's a relative word. In our day-to-day life, everything is related to something else. Therefore, every word reveals its meaning in relation to something else. So the word witness reveals its meaning with reference to what is witnessed. But when it comes to Sakshi, the consciousness, Sakshat ikshate, that illumines everything without any effort. Meaning that the illumination is not a verb, doesn't involve. Just by being, to shine and to illumine is the nature of the self. No diti nastametyesha sadrugeva nato drishyate. The Chiti is drug eva, only drug, only subject, nato drishyate, never becomes the object. The Upanishad says there also. Shrishta, Shrota, Ashruta Shrota, Amato Manta, Avijñato Vijñata, Adrushyo Drashta. The Drashta, the seer who is a Drashta, himself is never seen. Ashruta Shrota, the hearer who is never heard. Amato Manta, the thinker who is never thought of. Avijñato Vijñata, the knower who is never known. The different ways of trying to help us contemplate upon the nature of the self. As to how the self is one that shines in its own glory. One without, there is nothing else other than self. So, that is the nature of myself. When we carry out this process of drugdrishya viveka, separating druk from the drishya, the perceiver from the perceived, the self from the non-self, the chit consciousness from the unconscious, we come to this nature of the self, which is ever shining in its own glory, ever untouched, ever unaffected by any samsara, which illumines the whole samsara, but is untouched by the samsara. Meaning, I am never a samsari. I am never a samsari. I am never bound. I am never small. I am never insignificant. Even though I said earlier how I keep on injuring myself by branding myself. I am small, limited, insignificant. A doer, an experiencer. So I keep on branding myself in that way, as though constantly injuring myself. Unhappy I am, lacking I am, wanting I am, bound I am. I should become free. And then I strive, I make an effort to become free, and that's how the whole chain of the avidya, kama, karma, etc. is all created. But even when I keep on branding myself, I remain free from all notions. There is a reversing the process. Our life of ignorance is the process of injuring the self. Hinasti atmana atmanam. Because of ignorance, one keeps on injuring oneself by oneself. By lumping together the object with the subject, which can never happen really, but somehow we make it happen. And then with this process of separation. And thus my perception of myself undergoes a complete transformation. First I think that I am body. But no, the body is witnessed by the sense organs, I am the sense organs. But there is no witness by the mind that I am the mind. That's witnessed by the conscious, I am consciousness. Name dvesharagau, name lobhamohau, madho neva me neva matsaribhava. The dvesha, the raga, the aversion, the attachment, the greed, the delusion, the pride, the jealousy, nothing, they don't belong to me. They all belong to the mind. Name prana sanyo, navai panchavayu, nava saptadhatuhu, nava panchakosha, navak panipadam, nachopastapayu, chidananda rupa, shivoham, shivoham. The prana I am not. The seven materials, the body I am not, which made of these seven dhatus, seven materials. The body I am not. The organs of perception I am not. Organs of actions I am not. The separating the subject from the object. So that's what I do. The next day is samadarshana. See the same self everywhere. So we'll come to that step in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah. ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरि ओम। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम।
क्षीराब्धिशयना नारायण
क्षीराब्धिशयना नारायण
क्षीराब्धिशयना नारायण
क्षीराब्धिशयना नारायण
श्रीलक्ष्मीरमणा नारायण
श्रीलक्ष्मीरमणा नारायण
श्रीलक्ष्मीरमणा नारायण
श्रीलक्ष्मीरमणा नारायण
नारायण हरि नारायण
नारायण हरि नारायण
नारायण हरि नारायण
नारायण हरि नारायण
नर हरि रूपा नारायण
नर हरि रूपा नारायण
नर हरि रूपा नारायण
नर हरि रूपा नारायण
भक्तजन परिपाल नारायण
भक्तजन परिपाल नारायण
भक्तजन परिपाल नारायण
भक्तजन परिपाल नारायण
वैकुण्ठवासा नारायण
वैकुण्ठवासा नारायण
वैकुण्ठवासा नारायण
वैकुण्ठवासा नारायण
वैदेहि रमणा नारायण
वैदेहि रमणा नारायण
वैदेहि रमणा नारायण
वैदेहि रमणा नारायण
नारायण हरि नारायण
नारायण हरि नारायण
नारायण हरि नारायण
नारायण हरि नारायण
नर हरि रूपा नारायण
नर हरि रूपा नारायण
नर हरि रूपा नारायण
नर हरि रूपा नारायण
भक्तजन परिपाल नारायण
भक्तजन परिपाल नारायण
भक्तजन परिपाल नारायण
भक्तजन परिपाल नारायण
नारायण हरि 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 नारायण
नारायण
ನಾರಾಯಣ ಹರಿ ನಾರಾಯಣ
ನಾರಾಯಣ ಹರಿ ನಾರಾಯಣ
ಕ್ಷೀರಾಬ್ಧಿಶಯನ ನಾರಾಯಣ
ಕ್ಷೀರಾಬ್ಧಿಶಯನ ನಾರಾಯಣ
ಶ್ರೀಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀರಮಣ ನಾರಾಯಣ
ಶ್ರೀಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀರಮಣ ನಾರಾಯಣ
ನಾರಾಯಣ ಹರಿ ನಾರಾಯಣ
ನಾರಾಯಣ ಹರಿ ನಾರಾಯಣ
ನರಹರಿ ರೂಪ ನಾರಾಯಣ
ಹರಿ ರೂಪ ನಾರಾಯಣ
ಭಕ್ತಜನ ಪರಿಪಾಲ ನಾರಾಯಣ
ಭಕ್ತಜನ ಪರಿಪಾಲ ನಾರಾಯಣ
ಭಕ್ತಜನ ಪರಿಪಾಲ ನಾರಾಯಣ
ಭಕ್ತಜನ ಪರಿಪಾಲ ನಾರಾಯಣ
ವೈಕುಂಠವಾಸ ನಾರಾಯಣ
ವೈಕುಂಠವಾಸ ನಾರಾಯಣ
ವೈದೇಹಿ ರಮಣ ನಾರಾಯಣ
ವೈದೇಹಿ ರಮಣ ನಾರಾಯಣ
ನಾರಾಯಣ ಹರಿ ನಾರಾಯಣ
ನಾರಾಯಣ ಹರಿ ನಾರಾಯಣ
ನರಹರಿ ರೂಪ ನಾರಾಯಣ
ನರಹರಿ ರೂಪ ನಾರಾಯಣ
ಭಕ್ತಜನ ಪರಿಪಾಲ ನಾರಾಯಣ
ಭಕ್ತಜನ ಪರಿಪಾಲ ನಾರಾಯಣ
ಭಕ್ತಜನ ಪರಿಪಾಲ ನಾರಾಯಣ
ಭಕ್ತಜನ ಪರಿಪಾಲ ನಾರಾಯಣ
ನಾರಾಯಣ ಹರಿ 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 ನಾರಾಯಣ
ನಾರಾಯಣ